Well, welcome everybody to our online program on addiction and recovery from the Sunshine Coast Health Center up here in Powell River, BC. And we've been talking about myths of addiction. And another interesting one that I see everywhere is this idea that addicts use drugs to escape. Presumably some kind of traumatic childhood, or life is just so horrifying they can't stand it. This idea of I have to run away from life because it's just, I'm just suffering so horribly in it. We've talked before about this fellow by the name of Augustine Burroughs. He wrote this really interesting book called Dry, and he says in there that he uses drugs as an escape hatch, but also as a destination. And this is a concept that actually was picked up by Francis Seeberger, who is a very good philosopher who talks about addiction. And the idea of destination, that maybe there's some kind of benefit to using drugs, some kind of experience that you want to have, just like you would go on vacation to Hawaii. There's some experience that is very appealing, right? And maybe that's why addicts use drugs. So not merely to escape things, but also to get to somewhere, to get to a place where they feel comfortable, where they feel vital, where they feel alive. And that idea, and seems to be backed up by a lot of research as well, that we find that people with addictions don't seem to be that different than everybody else. I've looked at Gabor Mate, for example, says that all addicts have trauma. At our center, we certainly haven't found that. Other people say all addicts are suffering from depression or something, and so they use the drug to self-medicate that. But again, I mean, there's not a lot of research to back that up as some kind of thing you can say across the board. Of course, some people with depression are addicts, no question, but the vast majority aren't. But this idea of escaping, as Seeberger says, is only a half-truth, and like all half-truths, it hides more than it reveals. So it's a good idea, if you really want to understand what an addiction is, to understand it's a place where people want to get to. There's something about their life, maybe it's kind of dull and boring, but this idea of they're making a choice, they're sort of going to take control of their life to get to this place, is really a fundamental component to the addiction. So not merely escape, but also this choice that they're making. Anyway, things to think about, and we'll be back next time with our final topic on myths of addiction.